Welcome to Let's Talk. Today we are here with a very special guest. She is new on the film scene and has produced her first opening sequence of many. Give it up for Layla Williams. Woo! Hi, I'm so glad to be here. Join me as I share some secrets about my new film, Life for Life, a losing game. So let's get started. How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? My opening sequence utilized several types of conventions that are associated with opening sequences, such as an establishing shot. We used natural lighting to set the tone of the film. A handheld device was used since we did not have the opportunity to go to the school and receive cameras due to us being in a pandemic. The location we used can be seen as bright and natural, as the vegetation in that particular area was prominent. The mise-en-scène that was used in our film represents average teenagers growing up in that particular area. The costumes that we went for were more on the casual side. Our actors wore jeans, t-shirts, joggers, jackets, shorts. As you know, it is summertime in South Florida currently, and the weather is very humid, and sometimes this actually took a toll on us filming, as we got very dehydrated and tired, but we still made sure that we produced this film to the best of our abilities. The music we used for our film was more of a boom bap beat. It is mainly just hardcore drums that are usually associated with the golden age of hip hop. We felt as if this would be perfect for our film, as it has been used in other films such as Brotherly Love, which we took a lot of inspiration from. The genre that both of our films used were drama with a bit of a thriller twist. The elements of betrayal and deception play a major role in the film. Everyone has been deceived at least once in their life. I think this is what makes the film relatable. It represents teens growing up in a neighborhood that is surrounded by a culture that believes in street code. An eye for an eye is an unwritten rule that the characters live by in our film. The issues that are represented is revenge and love. The theme of revenge is the reason why the film falls into place. The vengeance that one may feel would cause them to go many lengths and encounter anything to accomplish that goal. Even if it means to lie and deceive someone to get them into falling in love with you, to get closer to the ones that they love and closer to your target. There's something that I realize is that if you can't get to the person you're aiming for, then you go for their family. It seems pretty immoral, but it occurs frequently in today's society, which is why we incorporated it in our film. Next question. How does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as real media text? My final task will get the attention of the people because of mundane realism. These teenagers that you see will be relatable to the general public. Themes that are touched on would create attraction towards the film. People will stay and watch my new film because it captivates their attention. There are many questions that will be seen along the way, such as the relationship amongst the characters and a lingering question of how will this act of revenge play out? I think the immediate response to this film would be that they hopefully want a longer version of the final task. My product would engage with a broad audience. I think it could be shown in movie theaters and even on streaming platforms such as Netflix or Hulu. Hopefully commercials could be incorporated as well through cable. Also, social media platforms are a big thing in today's society. Social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok can all be used, since many people are heavily relying on social media due to us being in a pandemic. They would eventually see the ad and may watch it depending on their interest. On Twitter, I would make an account to correspond with the title of the movie, such as at LFL losing game, and create a hashtag such as hashtag losing game. As for TikTok, I would make an account with the same username as my Twitter handle and post little snippets of the final task. I would probably then make a dance to the instrumental. Many people are dancing on TikTok nowadays, and if the dance blows up, it will cause major attraction to the youth. Overall, these platforms use ads to attract strong viewership. I think that if there was an ad promoted the new video on Instagram or YouTube, it would be successful. With YouTube, it could be an ad commercial in the beginning or the middle of one's YouTube video. This could help the video gain popularity from the general public. In this day and age, streaming is very popular. If people enjoy the video, then they stream it by watching it multiple times. They could tell their friends to watch it, and then the viewership and overall numbers will increase towards the film. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? Throughout my final task, I have learned numerous things about working in a group and the creative process, as well as the production process. At first, I was the creative director of the group. However, I expanded my narrow thinking and asked for advice about how to improve my production skills. Throughout this project, I listened to others and took their advice to utilize it throughout my project. Directing came kind of naturally as the actors knew what they were doing. I think I have grown as a filmmaker through the use of my group. We bounced ideas off of each other, and I tried to do as much research to find a film that would allow us to comprehend how we would portray our vision. There were times in the beginning of planning where I was not too sure of how I could include certain elements such as kidnapping or revenge. I knew that we could do it in our final task, and our final task proved that we can get it done. I've learned that as a filmmaker, quality is the key to a successful scene. The lighting, angle, and even the positions of the actors are key components that enhance the quality of the scene. Without this, there would be no film. As the main editor, I've learned that certain software is unable to handle everything and sometimes gives technical issues such as freezing or a shortage of photo space. The skills that I came into this course with were strictly editing. I did not know much about film. Learning how to establish shots to give the audience a better understanding of the setting or to feel the emotions that the actors are feeling through the scene is something that I had to learn. For the most part, our vision was portrayed pretty effectively. Even though there were some bumps in the road and some last minute changes, we eventually got through it. Something that I disliked during this filming editing process was that we were unable to use our original audio that we wanted to use. The audio that we wrote in our storyboard was DMX slipping. However, we weren't able to get in contact with his team, and as we were trying to get into contact, unfortunately, he passed away. May he rest in peace. And so we had to resort to finding a different audio, and that was left up to me. I looked for numerous beats to try to fit that same vibe that the DMX song had. I finally came to a conclusion by using a beat by Timber Beats, and that ended up in our final task. For me personally, I used to love editing. It was like a pastime, like a hobby basically that I used to have. I would like watch YouTube tutorials on like how to do like certain transitions on CapCut Pro or Video Star. I used to have a dream that I would be a video editor and like edit for all these big artists and help their vision become reality by using my skills and my techniques. However, as time grew, I grew out of that passion, that desire to edit. But I think after working on this film, I should get back into it. How did you integrate technology in this project? I utilized different techniques to produce the final task. Blogger was the most important tool to this task as it was like a diary to document our entire process from start to finish. Every mishap or accomplishment was recorded in Blogger. The hardware that I used in this project was my iPhone, computer, headphones, and a flash drive. The technologies that I utilized through the project were iMovie and YouTube. iMovie is the main editing software that I always use because it is simple and straight to the point. In this project, I used the new techniques, as I said prior, that I found on YouTube, as such as reducing background noises of a scene. Every time I use iMovie, it's like a new experience. Even though I used to use it a lot, it feels foreign to me sometimes every time I open it. Um, Fortunately for me, I feel like I gain a new technique each time. For this particular task, I used GarageBand to import the audio, the instrumental, to kind of play around with it a little bit and kind of find like the tempo that I wanted to use. I exported my video and uploaded it to YouTube, which did not take long at all. The outcome of my project came out pretty well. The internet was a helpful resource as there are millions of films created by numerous directors that gave me a vision on how the task should be done. This inspired me to create a film that would appeal to the masses. Websites like YouTube helped me understand how established filmmakers create these amazing films. With research, I would not be able to find a way to properly incorporate drama and thriller into our films. That is all the questions that I have for you today. Let's give a round of applause for Layla once again. Thank you for having me. Bye. Thank you for coming. And stay tuned for the next episode of Hashtag Let's